So as I've mentioned, Infigo provide a selection of templates that are ready to use. Some of them have very specific use cases. So we have, as you can see in that thing on the right there, we have the header and we have the footer. As the name suggests, they're fairly specific in where they're going to be used. Another one you might come across is, I think it's called FAQ focused or FAQ specific or something like that. And that is specifically designed just for sort of expandable questions and answers. So we do try and pre-configure for specific purposes where necessary. Some of the more customizable ones, first of all, you'll have content. So this allows the input of one or more specific content items, such as images or text. But the caveat with the content selection is that you get very minimal capability to actually format what you're putting on the screen. So I've tried to make a little graphic of it over on the bottom right-hand side. You might add an image, you might add a title or something like that, but it is just going to place them one after the other on the page. So a fairly basic layout, but there are some scenarios where you may want to use that. So let's take a little look at that for some context. So let me just find an empty content block to build this on. Switch that to content template and then choose content. So you'll see here that I get the ability to see the items that I've added, and there's the ability to add content down on the bottom right side. And as I've mentioned, this is just directly adding the content to the page. So you're not really going to get much in between. It's just going to be content, 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 and nothing else. Oops. Contrary to that, and what you might use in the majority of cases, is the builder. So this allows you to create fully customized layouts in which to display your content. So this is constructed what we're going to use, or we're going to call nested building blocks. So they're trying to provide you with a really intuitive user interface. So these nested building blocks might include things like entire sections. It could be columns that you want to position your content in. If you want to define a slider, there's really a lot of different things, and we'll try and cover a lot of them during the course of the webinar. But to give you an inclination of what they are, down on the bottom right-hand side, instead of just having your content in a very boring list, which might sometimes be necessary, this allows you to actually fully customize the layout of your particular page. Now, before we get started with digging into the default content templates, I do want to very briefly touch on the difference here with custom content templates. And we'll touch on these a bit more later on as well. So custom content templates allow users to generate their own reusable template formats. So what this essentially utilizes is the writing of some boilerplate code. So to use custom content templates effectively, you will need that HTML knowledge in your business somewhere. But then that boilerplate code can be interspersed with various modifiable fields in which you are accepting input data from the administrator. So this is very useful if you want to ensure conformity wherever the template is used. And an example, if you're using a custom template on a product landing page, it ensures that all of your product landing pages will appear identically formatted with minimal effort required from the administrator. So just to put that into context over on the right-hand side, very basic three-step process here. The first little screenshot there is the actual writing of the custom content template. So you can see there's a lot of code involved with these variable sections or variable fields. Then when you actually utilize that content template, what the user has to write in, which is then where your general Infigo administrators would come into this thing, is they then have the ability to just enter information into those defined fields. And then as a result of what they've entered into those fields, they'll see the resulting content.